Welcome back to Dynamics. Okay, so this is another video that is not a political video. Very good, huh? This is something that I'm actually usually really interested in. I'm surprised I haven't done um, a video similar to this previously. Um, as I have mentioned in other videos, I am Catholic. That is a big part of my life, and so talking about these sorts of things is, it used to be a bigger part of my life. I haven't really had these type of conversations in a while, but it's something that really interests me. It kind of came up recently. I was seeing, and so I wanted to discuss it. So the concept of creation versus evolution. Okay, so a couple of things to get it out of the way. You don't necessarily have to be creation or evolution. You can believe in both, and in fact, I am one of those people that believes in both. And as a member of the Catholic Church does allow for this. The Catholic Church doesn't endorse evolution per se, but if you believe in evolution, you just believe that God played a part in it, created evolution, then you can believe in evolution. It's not contradictory, okay? And oftentimes I think that, without admitting it, people who believe in evolution, or basically that science is the reason why all things exist, without any religious explanations, do leave caveats for the idea of religion playing a part in it, not specifically like this church or that church, but the idea that that something created the process, that the process didn't come out of existence or come into existence out of nowhere, that something started the process. And so it becomes really kind of complicated because the age old question, what came first, the chicken or the egg? They how did it start, right? When did you know everything that we see start, and how did it start? I am a big fan of the idea that it's always been, and that what was created at that time of creation or Big Bang or whatever it is was the concept of time. That we see it as a beginning because that's when time began, but it's not necessarily that it came from nothing. It's not that there was nothing before it, but what was before it wasn't limited by the concept of time. It's just an interesting like thought that is really hard for us as beings that are beings of time, to comprehend. It's hard to think about. It's one of the reasons why people are so scared of death because if you think about it, well, death is the end of your time. If that's how you believe, if you believe that there's nothing after that, and so the idea that everything continues on beyond that can be scary to people. The idea that we don't know how long it will continue on. The idea of infinite is scary to people, just because it really is outside of our realm of understanding to be able to really say, hey, we as humans are limited to this time, but not everything is limited by time. It's hard for us to grasp. Okay. And so for me, I believe that there was this infinite, right? This infinite concept. For me, that infinite concept was God. For someone else, it may not be God. It may be, just however they want to describe it, but it's not God. It's not a religious concept. It's just the infinite beyond the confines of finite time. But what I say is, if we can accept the fact that, science does exist, science proves certain things, then what happens is we do have to accept the fact that, if you are a creationist, that the Bible itself is a guide to how he did it, not not the exact roadmap. It's a general concept, that when it says he created the earth in 6 days and he rested on the seventh, is it literally 6 days and he rested on the seventh? Some people believe that, and that's fine. But for me, the idea of God being infinite, that he existed before and after time, um, means that if he created these things, he created time. And so he's not limited by that 6 day time frame. That's just what was used to describe how he did it, or what he did in ways that us beings of time would understand. And so when you look at things like that, you say, hey, um, God created the earth in 6 days, then he rested on the seventh. That's for humans so that we can know, hey, we should create for 6 days, but we should rest on the seventh. We should not continue to create until we have exhausted ourselves. We should rest so that we can continue to create. That's an idea that was put forward in the Old Testament, and then moving forward into the New Testament, the idea is that, not only should you create for 6 days and then rest on the seventh, um, although it rotated from Saturday to Sunday, pivoted, and I understand the arguments for and against. That's not what this video is going to be about. But anyways, you worship on that day of rest. So not only do you rest, you reinvigorate yourself. You're able to continue to create, um, but you also show respect and worship towards the Creator. Um, and oftentimes we do that through the lens of religion and through the lens of going to church. Not everybody, of course, but that is my focus, right? That's what I do, or what I should do. I don't go to church as often as I should, and I'll freely admit that. Um, but that is my idea of how you're you're supposed to schedule your life. And so I'm getting a little bit away from the whole evolution versus creation thing, but in my life, I work 4 days a week. I work 4 days, 10 hours a day, and then I have 2 days that are for creating outside of my work life. And that's a whole separate video that I do want to get to, talking about the concept of, them wanting to make the 4 day work week a mandatory concept. Actually, yeah, I definitely want to make that video now that I'm thinking about it. Um, but but then you have 2 days to focus on creating in other ways, right? For me, I create with my band, I create with these videos, I create by playing a game called Magic the Gathering, I create by, playing video games, I create by spending time with my family, I create by, going out and enjoying the company of my friends. So these are different things that you can do. And then that seventh day should be a day of focus on rest, recuperation, worship. If we did that, I think we would all be a lot happier and healthier. Unfortunately, a lot of us, either we work that seventh day, or we continue to go out and have a good time and enjoy, or create in a different way, and we don't use that downtime that oftentimes we need, and you get burned out. So keep that in mind. Anyways, totally derailed this video, but hopefully you enjoy that, because that's a sign of the video to come. But yeah, so for me, it seems like they are completely compatible. I don't think that it violates the sanctity of the idea of creation to say that God could have used evolution as a process to create all of the life on Earth, or all of the life in the universe, really. Our Bible is definitely Earth focused. Is there a possibility that that's because that's the only life in the universe? Maybe, but I don't think so. I think that's just, he's just telling us what he did here, right? And that there could be life in other worlds and different ways of worshiping and different ways of interacting with God and that sort of thing. That's a possibility in my mind. I don't think that violates my belief in the Bible. I don't think that violates my belief in God, and my faith. So I think that oftentimes we get too hung up on absolutes and to say that only this or only that, when in actuality we shouldn't be fighting about these things. You can believe that something took place a certain way and they can believe that something else took place a certain way, and we can be understanding and accepting of each other's beliefs. It's when you try to shut down other people's beliefs that become a problem. So if someone is saying, hey, only your belief, you can't share it with other people, that becomes a problem, right? So oftentimes they want to shut down the freedom of expression, the freedom of speech for people who also are taking part in their freedom of religion. And we definitely want to try to keep that from happening as much as possible. That people do have the right to express themselves. Freedom of religion is not freedom from religion, and that goes for even someone whose religion is no religion. So you have a right to say that you don't believe in these faiths. You have a right to say that you don't believe in God, and that creation is strictly or that evolution and how the world universe came into existence is strictly a scientific method. That's fine, you know. Just we need to be more respectful of each other with these things. And so moving forward, just know that sometimes I will be discussing things like this. This is my worldview. This is how I view things, and how I believe in things. And if you disagree, that's fine. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. All right, everybody, take care. Have a good day.